President, we're live and you have a quorum.
We're good to go.
We're good to go.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the City of San Angelo Development Corporation board meeting for October 28th. It is 8:45, and I will now call this meeting to order. Notice is hereby given in accordance with an order of the Office of the Governor issued March 16th, 2020 of regular meeting of the City of San Angelo Development Corporation, scheduled on October 28, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. The McNeese Convention Center, South Meeting Room 501, Rio Concho Drive, San Angelo, Texas, will not be open to the public. COSA DC members and staff will attend virtually in order to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings, also called social distancing. To slow the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19, there will be no public access to the regular meeting location. A public, free of charge audio-video broadcast of the meeting will be available on the city's YouTube channel. The meeting agenda and the agenda packet are posted online. Members of the public who wish to submit public comment on agenda items must send their written comments via email to nora.navarez@cosatx.us by noon, October 27, 2020. The subject must be in the following format: public comment, item number, October 28, 2020. All emails must include your name and address. Please note all public comment emails relevant to posted agenda items received by the deadline will be published as part of the agenda packet prior to the meeting and therefore public record. Call 325-653-7197 for staff assistance. Anyone who wishes to speak remotely during the statutorily mandated public hearing on regular agenda items 5H and I must send their request to nora.navarez@cosatx.us by noon, October 27, 2020. To register as a speaker and obtain information regarding how to make a public comment remotely during the meeting. A recording of the meeting will be available to the public in accordance with the Open Meetings Act upon written request. And I will now open us in prayer. If you'll all bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for this time that we get to come together and look at the benefits and the things that we can do for our great city. Father, we would ask that you watch over us during these crazy times in this world and our nation. And Father, we'd ask that everything that we do would be pleasing to you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Moving on now to public comment. At this time, the board of directors may ask staff members questions regarding public comments submitted via email. Nora, did we have any public comments?
No, sir, we did not receive any.
Okay, we received none. Does anyone else have a public comment? All right, we will move on to 4, consent agenda. Consider approving the September 23rd, 2020 meeting minutes. B, consider approving the necessary corporation disbursement. C, consider authorizing the board president to negotiate and execute an alarm monitoring agreement and addendum and a service agreement with Intertel Services, LLC, and substantially the attached form approved by the city attorney for security services at the Business Resource Center, 69 North Chadburn, San Angelo, Texas, 76903. D, consider authorizing the board president to execute a services agreement with Dirt Doc LLC, DBA Dirt Doctor Contractor, for cleaning services at the Business Resource Center, 69 North Chadburn, San Angelo, Texas, 76903, for a 3-year term at rate set forth in contractor's quote dated September 21, 2020, in a form approved by the Director of Economic Development and the City Attorney's Office. E, consider adoption of a motion authorizing the board president to enter into an extension of service agreement with Russell E. Wallace, DBA CTR Data, pursuant to option to extend the service agreement for technology services for the business factory. F, consider approving an agreement for the mutual termination of the memorandum of understanding by and between the City of San Angelo Development Corporation and the City of San Angelo, providing an economic development incentives to U.S. Customs and Border Protection air and marine operations with participation by the city for a project related to business enterprise that create or retain primary jobs. Do I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
Move for approval of items A through F on the consent agenda.
Thank you, Bill. Do I have a second?
Second.
I think that was Dr. Cummings.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? I will call the roll. Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Erica,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Max,
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Who am I missing?
You.
Just me? Okay, I am also in the aye. Do I have any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the regular agenda. A, discussion and possible action concerning a request for partial funding from the San Angelo Convention Visitors Bureau for air races to be held at the San Angelo Regional Airport. Presentation by Mr. Guy Andrews. You're on, Guy.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, another little technical difficulty there. This is a presentation for a potential air show that wants to come to San Angelo at the San Angelo Regional Air Terminal. I have joining us this morning Susanna Valenzuela is going to make a presentation in regard to this, and also Diane Bays, the Vice President of the CVB, is on the line as well. So Susanna, I'll allow you to share your screen if you'd.
Okay, good morning, COSA DC. Thank you for allowing us to make this presentation this morning. I'm Susanna Valenzuela, the Leisure and Smurf Sales Manager at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We have been working hard on this event since July with Jeremy at the airport. This race consists of 8 planes racing at one time. It's similar to a NASCAR race. The track and everything has already been laid out. It will be over the airport. So it's not going to bother any of the residential areas or anything like that. We've also been working with the fire police department, the legal department over at the city. The CVB board has met about this item and approved it for us to proceed. So as I'm just going to go through the presentation here, as I said, we began the discussions in July. Jeff is the one that owns Air Race One. And he has been doing these races since 2014. They haven't had any incidents or anything like that, but they have been being held in Spain and in Thailand. So he hasn't had any US races yet. This will be the first one. And so he's hoping to bring it to San Angelo. They sent out an RFP and we were one of the cities that responded. And we've been working very closely with him to try to bring the event to San Angelo. Normally, these races charge a hosting fee, charge the cities a hosting fee, and that can be $75,000 to $250,000. But due to the COVID situation, so many cities are kind of hard up for cash right now, just as we are as well. So he's waiving those fees right now, and basically he's just looking for incentives to bring the event and get that started, get that series started here in the United States. We anticipate 260 room nights solely from the event staff and the participating teams. Of course, we would expect a large attendance for this, anywhere 10,000 to 20,000 people to come in to see this event. Let's see if it'll let me enter. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the CVB has met with the Convention and Visitors Bureau board, and these are the incentives that have been approved. And all of these incentives will not be paid out directly to Air Race One. They will be paid out to these individual companies or whoever we're using to get this done. Of course, the marketing would be done through the CVB. We're allotting $20,000 for marketing of the event. There would be a $10,000 VIP event. We would be paying for fuel for the pilots that are participating. Concho Valley Transit has already said they would like to sponsor the transportation for the pilots to and from the airport and any transportation that would be needed. Normally they ask for us to pay for flights for the staff coming in, but we've negotiated that. We're just going to help them get a group rate. The lodging would be $20,000. We're looking at $2,000 for lunch for the participants on the days that they're here. Emergency medical services, $14,000, and we're looking at partnering with Goodfellow Air Force Base. So we're hoping there will be some savings there, but if not, we're expecting that to be $14,000. One of the things that has been lingering is the event insurance. We're working on the city with looking for a vendor to insure the event. And so we are not sure what that cost is going to be. And so, I mean, it could be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. We're not sure, or more than that. So we're also looking at possibly having a cost for tents if we're unable to secure a hangar out at the airport. And so those are pretty much the expenses that we've agreed to take care of for the event. And the CVB board met, and they had an emergency meeting on October 9th. And it was decided that we would be allowed to, the CVB can contribute $40,000. And then they asked staff to seek out other funds. We're looking at applying for the Texas Event Trust Fund, but that can't be done until I believe 90 days before the event, but of course they wouldn't give us anything until afterwards, once we've proved up the amount of sales tax. And then of course, you know, through sponsorships. Also, we may go back to city council and ask for more hot funds, but that'll be like very last resort. And that's why we're here today, asking for the COSA DC to help us up to $40,000 for this event. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Right now, we're just looking at 1 year. Not having to pay that hosting fee is a very significant savings and an opportunity for us, because there's no way we would be able to afford to be able to pay for the hosting fees if that was still being charged. So we definitely feel like this would be an event that would highlight the airport, bring attention to the airport, and of course, bring visitors to the community. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those now.
Okay, board, do y'all have any questions? Discussion? When did you say that this would take place?
It will be October 2021, late October. And we're also looking at partnering with the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce on the event side for them to run the event. So they would be managing ticket sales, entertainment, and all of the things that kind of go along with that side of the event. So we're in negotiations right now to get that done as well. If that doesn't go through, then it would be Air Race One would go ahead and put that on.
Okay.
Just for information, we did socialize this with our board of directors at the Chamber of Commerce, and we're generally favorably disposed to support this. I think it's a great thing to do for our community, and certainly will put us on the map in ways that were not previously been put on before. So we encourage support for this undertaking.
And I did fail to mention, this was approved by City Council at their last meeting. So we are ready to move forward. The only thing that is hanging out there, as I mentioned, is the insurance. So once we find a provider for that, the city will be ready to sign the contract.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we have any idea of what kind of revenue, and I know this would be probably a gross estimate, but do we have any idea of what kind of revenue this might bring to the city?
Well, it's depending on the amount of visitors, of course. And since we've never held the event before, you know, that is kind of hard to say. But Joe Hyde, who is on our board of directors for the CVB, is very familiar with these races, and he feels confident that it would at least attract 10,000, you know, in the initial event. You know, hopefully if it does well, we would like to invite them to continue, but for right now it is for 2021. So really, hopefully it would be a great impact, but we just can't say what the impact would be.
Erica, I can probably speak to some of that. Even if we got only 5,000 visitors who came and overnighted, that's over $500,000, plus those who come in and are just here for day trips. that's probably another close to that. And so I think it will be well over $1 million. And I expect 5,000 overnight for this kind of an event. They have a pretty significant following as far as their races are concerned. So I think we will get a great deal of exposure. I might add, I failed to introduce myself. I'm Diane Bays. I'm the Vice President of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and thank you for allowing us to be here. One of the things we have been struggling with, as most of you probably know, our division of the chamber is fully funded by hotel tax dollars. We have seen about a 25% decrease in our hot tax funds for this year. We'll see a similar decrease next year, just simply because from January through June, the association meeting planners and other major events, many of them are not going to happen. Fortunately, we have a few still on the books, but normally we book around 100 meetings a year, and we are not even remotely close to that. We aren't even to a dozen for 2021, which is really, really kind of a sad piece for us. But if not for visitor spending in our community, every household would be paying almost $700 in additional hotel tax dollars or additional property tax per year. So tourism is a very big component. And this group, as Susanna shared, sent us an RFP along with other groups, and we responded. We have been working diligently, Susanna mostly, on this, and I appreciate her hard work on this. And so we thought when we consider what the airport exposure could be for this, we think this would be a great event to highlight that the airport, which is a good piece of economic development. Everything starts with a visit. So we want to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to bring in the right types of things that can give exposure not only to visitors, but for businesses potentially looking to move here.
Great, thank you.
I'd like to just say that I would concur with what Diana just said in terms of attracting potential businesses to the airport. Our emphasis is going to be a lot in this year of the airport and improvements to that. And so I'd just like to say I would support that. Susanna, you can go ahead and discontinue sharing your screen.
Okay.
So what we like to do is to get recommendations from the board after having seen that as to how we might participate, or if we will participate in sponsoring this particular activity. So I'll open it up for that discussion.
Does the board have any direction, questions, or concerns?
Ms. Valenzuela, have you reached out to any private sponsors yet to sponsor
Since
this?
we're just in the beginning process, no, we haven't. We're waiting for the contract to be signed because we can't really get the sponsors. And there is an issue of, because they're waiving those hosting fees, the sponsorships are going to be a big deal for them as far as having income for the event and of course, creating income for themselves. So that is something that we will negotiate with the chamber as well, how those percentages are going to break down and stuff like that. So like I said, Concho Valley Transit jumped on board. I called to get a quote for that just to kind of have an amount for this presentation. And they were very willing to get involved. So I don't think we'll have an issue getting sponsorships. We're just kind of waiting to see how it's all gonna, that the contract's gonna be signed, what the chamber needs to do, and make sure we kind of don't hit up the same sponsors. It's kind of odd saying the chamber and the CVB, we are actually different entities in this conversation. So we want to make sure that we don't step on the toes of what the chamber is going to need to do and what Air Race One is going to need to do as far as sponsorships.
I would also add that all of this will be moot if we don't find the insurance. And so there is no actual financial commitment until after that contract is signed, if indeed this board votes for that.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
I have a
This is
quick
Matt.
question.
Okay, go for it.
All right. What about the the drones that are out there, I mean, have y'all reached out to them as far as logistics? I'm sure that's going to be coordinated with the host of the event, but just being that we're one of the only public airports that has the drone situation, I didn't know if there needs to be kind of a partnership or communication ahead of time with that as far as coordination goes.
Mr. Carrasco, we are working very closely with Jeremy at the airport. And so he is making sure all of that is going to line up. As you know, the airport receives federal grants, so it can't shut down to host the event. So he is working very closely with Air Race One. You know, we're also waiting on FAA approval. So none of that will affect any of the operations of the airport. They're going to schedule kind of around that. This isn't the races don't kind of take all day. The race itself probably takes about 5 minutes. It's just kind of like getting them up in the air and stuff like that. So they'll probably have some going on in the morning, some going on in the afternoon, but it'll definitely be timed with the needs of what's going on at the airport. And Jeremy is very familiar with all of that. So we're definitely leaving that in his hands.
Perfect. Thank you.
If I might make a recommendation from a viewpoint of staff, and this is just a recommendation. One of the sponsorships on there is the VIP sponsorship. And I think if we could at least commit to that, that might help them move this on forward. So I would recommend that the board might commit to that one. And of course, we'd have to come back with a resolution and an action at a later date. But I think what Susanna and them are looking for at this particular point in time is some type of commitment for us so they can move this thing forward.
Max, did you have a question?
Yeah, just a question and a comment. The question was, if reviewing this, this already has passed through the city council and approved, right? I believe.
Yes.
Okay, and so they obviously support that. I think, to Guy's comment, with the things that we're doing to improve the kind of gateway from the airport and clearing that land and all the improvements over there, I think this would be a great. This kind of ties in, I think, perfectly with the efforts that we're doing there. So I think sounds good from my end.
Hey, Guy, you mentioned the VIP. What was the commitment, financial commitment for that?
$10,000.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns from the board?
Yes, I have a question. Ms. Valenzuela, in your presentation, you mentioned a partnership with Goodfellow. What are we looking for them to provide?
We are asking, or we hope to ask that they provide equipment and personnel for the event. So they would be basically, if there is an accident, they just want for them to be able to get, for the EMS to get to the pilot within 30 seconds. So that's kind of why it's a little bit more, because it's not just like one fire truck, one crew. They have several crews set up just to ensure everyone's safety. So we would be asking for them to partner with us, and hopefully that could be a training exercise for them where the firemen can come out and they would just be set up for the day.
Yeah, I can see a benefit for them, to Goodfellow, that is, with that also, but they would have to have that equipment stationed at the airport during the time that the race is going on.
Yes, sir. And as I said, we did visit with Chief Dunn over at the fire department. So, there's a fire station out there, and he feels very confident that, we would be able to use some of that staff. But that's why we're hoping we can also partner with Goodfellow so we could have some cost savings there for that portion of the budget.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Well, I don't have a problem going back to staff and telling them to come back to us with a $10,000 proposal for the VIP tent. I think that would be a good recommendation. How do y'all feel?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Also,
Okay. Guy, I think you can move forward with that. And I think I'd also like to add that keep us apprised of anything else that may come up. This sounds like an exciting thing for the city.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all letting us be here and your support.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Is that should be in the form of a motion? Are you actually authorizing that or just direction?
We're just giving direction at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Guy, you good?
I'm good. Thank you. We'll come
All right.
back with the resolution.
Very good. Moving on to B, consider approving the September 2020 financial statements presentation by Ms. Tina Dierschke.
Good morning, board. I'm going to present your unaudited year-end financial statements. We ended the year over our final budget for revenue for sales tax by about $750,000 overall. You know, that's obviously split between the development corp side and the ballot side. It's great news, something we probably didn't expect. We did experience negative sales tax numbers for September with a decrease of 5.92%. However, in October, we saw an increase of 15.77%. So we're remaining diligent and cautious in watching those trends. For the year, sales tax was up by just over 1% overall compared with our fiscal year 2019. And moving on to your balance sheet for the economic development side, not a whole lot of activity here. I just wanted to point out that our unassigned fund balance is at about $4.7 million with almost $7 million set aside for projects. And on the revenue expenditure report, you'll see here where the sales tax for the year was 8% over budget. That's largely due to our conservative approach to budgeting, of course. And then we did pay the city services contract as well as a few minor administrative expenses. The other revenue source that you'll see on this revenue expenditure report is the gain on the sale of assets for some properties that were sold. And we were able to use that to move forward some other projects as well. And on your ballot side for the balance sheet, with the assistance of some of that excess sales tax revenue, we are building up some unassigned fund balance on this side. We're at about $3.3 million year to date. And of course, the revenue expenditure report for the ballot side, again, that sales tax in excess of budget by over $500,000. And again, we did pay the city services contract as long as one payment for the West Texas Water Partnership. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Questions or concerns from the board? I think we're good. I do need a motion for.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Thank you, Ed. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank Garland.
Yes.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor. Dr. Cummings.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max.
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Edward.
Aye.
And I am also with the ayes. Any nays? None. Motion carries. Moving on to C, consider approving the proposed Costa DC meeting calendar for 2021. Presentation made by Ms. Nora Navarez.
Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so as for your meeting calendar for next year, I have made the adjustments. So November and December have been adjusted due to the holidays. So pretty basically it's just straightforward. So if you have any questions or you feel there are any concerns, so just let me know.
Does anybody have any conflicts or reasons that this should not be the dates at this time?
All meetings are based on the fourth Wednesday of each month. So as I stated, besides November and December, those are the ones that are adjusted due to holidays. So
Okay, I think it looks good. I do need a motion.
Move for approval of the 2021 calendar for the Development Corporation.
Thank you, Bill. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Cummings. Any further discussion? All right, we'll call roll. Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Erica,
Aye.
Max,
Aye.
Garland,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Todd is also in the ayes. No nays. Motion carries. Thank you all.
thank you.
Consider approving. Nope. Consider adoption of a resolution authorizing the use and sales and use tax funds in an amount not to exceed $150,000 to provide an economic development incentive matching grant with Ethicon Inc. and Principal LED LLC to SME Education Foundation for its SME Prime Next Generation of Manufacturing, Fabrication, and Engineering Talent High School or similar program for high school students in the city of San Angelo in partnership with local manufacturers to prepare students for careers in manufacturing, fabricating, and engineering related jobs. A project authorized for a Type B corporation under the Local Government Code, Chapters 501 and 505 of the Texas Development Corporation Act.
Yes, sir. I'd like to introduce several guests that we have that will be associated with the SME Prime that have joined us today. Mark Jones with SME Prime, Mike Berry, who is with Ethicon and is also on the board of directors of the Concho Valley Workforce Development Board. Delilah Harper is with Principal LED. We also have Dr. Tiffany Price with Howard College, and Roxanne Fentress with San Angelo Independent School District. Just a reminder, we had Mark provided a presentation on September 23rd board meeting to let everybody know about this program. We're requesting a matching grant of $150,000. That would be $50,000 a year for 3 years for this program. Principal LED and Ethicon are our partners, and the program will be via San Angelo Independent School District at Central High School. And so if board has questions, we have our participants that would be glad to answer those questions.
Okay, board, do we have any questions, concerns?
Ms. Fentress, a question for you. Will students from Lakeview be able to be attending the classes even though they're at Central?
Yes, sir. Actually, it did say that it would be at Central High School, but we are working to have this program at the West Texas Training Center, which is a part of Howard College, because we currently have students from Central and Lakeview that attend classes out here for our advanced CTE program. So yes, it would be open to all high school students from both high school campuses.
I was hoping that would be the case, that it'd be moved to West Texas Training Center.
Yes, sir.
Good. And how many students do we expect to participate in the program?
We're currently looking at SME Prime has several different curriculum areas and several different, I guess, the curriculum areas that they offer. And so in working with Mike Berry at Ethicon and in working with Delilah Harper at Principal LED, what we're going to look at is what curriculum we need to offer to be able to match the training that they're going to need students to have once they graduate. We're in the process of identifying that curriculum right now. And so once we know what path we're going to be, we're heading towards, that's going to help us to be able to know the number of students that we can have per class. So it's, I mean, we're kind of just in the beginning stages of developing that curriculum right now. Currently, we have about 300 students that come to us 3 times a day. So if different 3 different groups of students that come to the West Texas Training Center. So we could have upwards of 100 and 150 students that are able to participate in this program. It really just depends upon the curriculum and upon these industry needs.
I have a question as far as like the age of the students going into the program. Is it going to be offered for your juniors and seniors, or is it going to be a 4-year kind of like a college type setting to where, you advance in your coursework as you progress on as, in your level of schooling?
Currently, our advanced CTE courses that we offer here at the training center, we do have some sophomores. It really depends how many courses, how many introductory or principal courses they've already had. But right now, the majority of our students are juniors and seniors. So we look to see that this program would be tailored more towards junior and senior level students.
And this is Mark Allen Jones again. If I may, it's nice to be with you all again. Roxanne touched on something just a moment ago that you'll recall I emphasized last month when I joined you for your September meeting, and that is the partnership that occurs between the school and the companies that get involved. That's the real strength of this program. So you may have heard me say that this isn't an off-the-shelf program that we send out to the school and say, implement this and you guys will be all good. It's quite the opposite. This program is tailored specifically for the needs of those investors that get involved. And in this case, those core investors are Ethicon and Principal LED. So this program, at least initially, will be tailored to meet the needs of those two companies. As the program matures, as other companies get involved, there'll also be the opportunity for those companies to provide input so that the curriculum meets their needs as well.
And if I could just say, one of the things that we're excited about having this on the West Texas Training Center campus is our ability to work closely with Dr. Price and Howard College in creating pathways for our students where they're, say for example, if as a freshman, they take our introduction to engineering class. And so as throughout high school and as part of the SME program, they're going to be learning these skills and this training. Additional training can also be provided by some of our Howard College courses so that students are able to, have a certificate level 1 by the time they graduate high school. And then if they continue with Howard College, they'll be able to get more certifications and degrees that way. So I really see just a full spectrum of possibilities for students even after high school.
Okay. Sounds like an exciting program. Any other questions or concerns from the board?
If prior to that, I can just make one quick comment on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. We view workforce development as being critical to our economic future. And as such, we will be, we're planning to contribute as well to this program financially in order to support that objective. So I just want to make that clear to the board today that we are behind that, not only in words, but also in funding.
Thank you.
Yes, and this is Dr. Price, Tiffany. I'm excited as well from the Howard perspective. Just like Roxanne said, we are looking forward to working closely and designing those pathways for a labor pool in the workforce to benefit the community of San Angelo. So we're excited to be a part of this initial conversations as well. So.
Okay. Very good. Do we have any other questions or concerns? Comments? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Erica. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Bill. Any other concerns or comments? Discussion. Okay, roll call. Dr. Cummings.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max. Garland.
Aye.
Ed. Ed? Did we lose Ed?
We may have, looks like I don't see him on the screen now. Oh, hang on, I'm going to admit him back in. Must have dropped out. Hang on. Ed, are you back in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Waiting on you, Ed.
Battery died.
Are you, we are going through the roll call of the ayes and nays.
Ayes.
So you are aye.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I am also in the affirmative, so motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Exciting for the city of San Angelo. I appreciate all of your support and look forward to really being part of a great program at SAISD.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're looking forward to it as well.
Yep. On behalf of Ethicon, I just want to say thanks for your partnership. Greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to item E, consider authorizing extension of the professional services performance agreement with the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce Incorporated as provided in the agreement through December 31st, 2021 for adjusted compensation in the annual sum of $262,500 and directing the board president to execute such agreement and any related documents in a form approved by the city attorney. Presentation by Mr. Guy Andrews.
Thank you, board. As you'll recall, we had the discussion on this in our executive committee at our last meeting. What we're bringing forward is a recommendation. This agreement would be for a 2-year period. The initial term of the agreement runs from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Agreement is identical to the 2020 agreement with the exception of the dates, dollar amounts, and 2 added items that will be on the next slide. We're recommending the contract amount be increased from $250,000 annually to $262,500. The additional $12,500 annually is to be reallocated from the High Ground of Texas $25,000 annual membership, which terminated on September 30th, 2020. These are the 2 items that have been added to the agreement that the provider will, considering the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, develop special marketing campaigns that address developing opportunities that arise, such as those resulting from supply chain disruptions, onshoring initiatives, and other adaptations resulting from the changed business and industrial environment. Also, we want them to explore, along with our consultants, new business opportunities in Mexico that would utilize the South Orient Freight Corridor. Be glad to answer questions that the board might have.
Does the board have any questions or concerns? I am hearing none. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Erica.
I'll second.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
It's Ed.
Thank you, Mr. Carrasco. Any further discussion? All right, I will call the roll. Dr. Cummings.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max.
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And I am also in the affirmative, so motion carries.
Thank you.
F, consider resolution of the San Angelo Development Corporation authorizing the use of sales and use tax funds in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for monument signage and related landscaping, welcoming travelers into the city of San Angelo, enhancing an improved project for cleanup, open space improvement and landscaping on the Knickerbocker Road right-of-way and adjoining Bureau Reclamation land, open space fronting the San Angelo Regional Airport, Mathis Field, a project authorized under Chapter 505 of the Texas Local Government Code for open space improvement and promotional purposes necessary to the development business enterprises. And authorizing the board president to negotiate and execute an addendum to the project memorandum of understanding MOU with the city of San Angelo and such other documentation with the Bureau of Reclamation as may be necessary to provide terms for performance and to execute and other related legal documents in form approved of the city attorney, subject to approval of city council. Presentation by Mr. Guy Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is really the third phase of the exit beautification program that we've undertaken with the clearing of the 14 acres approximately of land across Knickerbocker from the San Angelo Regional Air Terminal. This resolution would provide for expenditures of up to $100,000 to allow for contingencies in this. The cost estimate that we received from our construction manager at the city is $87,016.62. The MOU between COSA DC and the city of San Angelo allows the city to contract and manage the construction activities. And as I said, this is the third phase of the open space improvements on the land across from the San Angelo Regional Airport. And I'd be glad to answer questions. This is a sketch of what that monument would look like. Low maintenance on that in terms of plants and everything. Primarily, we'll say welcome to San Angelo. This is in conjunction too with airport improvements, gateway enhancements that are being made using airport funds across the city. So to the left of that picture, you see the current entryway into the airport. They're going to be enhancements to that monument, and so that these two monuments would match each other in the design. This is the cost estimate again at $87,000. So I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions, concerns from the board?
Not a concern, but just a question that I have. Is that the activity that's presently going on out there by the airport now? And when do we expect it to be completed?
This project actually has not begun yet. We did the clearing and all of that has been completed. The next thing that will happen in that project is that fencing will go in there. The contract's already been let on that to Twin Mountain Fencing, and they will, before the end of the year, have that fence put in. In this particular design, there is some enhanced fencing that will connect into the rest of the fencing that will be a little bit more substantial. And I might add, we actually, without knowing exactly what would happen when we moved into this project, budgeted $250,000 for this project. So we're very pleased that it's come in with a quote of only, or a estimate of 87,000, and shouldn't go over 100,000 for this project. This will be maintained by our Lake Park division, and they've already are underway and continue to keep this mode and very presentable over there.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Max. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. Any other discussion? All right, Dr. Cummings.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max.
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And I am also in the affirmative, so motion carries. Thank you all. Moving on to G, consider approving the first addendum to memorandum of understanding by and between the City of San Angelo Development Corporation and the City of San Angelo concerning a project for open space improvement, landscaping, and related facilities necessary to enhance the Knickerbocker Road right-of-way and adjoining Bureau of Reclamation land fronting San Angelo Regional Airport, Mathis Field.
What that is actually just the memorandum of understanding that goes with that particular resolution, but it requires a separate vote for the MOU so that we can allow the city to manage those funds and perform the construction.
Okay, any discussion?
Move for approval of the MOU.
Thank you, Bill. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Max. Any other discussion? All right, Dr. Cummings.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max.
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And I am also an aye. Motion carries. Thank you all. Moving on to H, public hearing regarding the use of sales and use tax funds in an amount not to exceed $362,500 to provide an economic development incentive to Special Materials Company for a project related to business enterprises that create or retain primary jobs as authorized for a Type B corporation under Local Government Code, Chapter 505, Subchapter C. Presentation by Ms. Shannon Scott.
Thank you. Good morning. As you all are probably aware that for every project that we approve, we are required to conduct a public hearing in accordance with Section 505-159 of the Local Government Code. This particular public hearing will be for SMC Global. Again, this was a project that was approved at last month's board meeting, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview again of what was approved at last month's meeting. So again, SMC Global is a special chemical supplier with global sourcing and production facilities. So some of their products include green solvents, phosphorus derivatives, and color imaging chemicals. So their expansion will include the purchase of a building that's currently located at 3820 Cristobal Road. That building they are actually leasing at the moment, so they do plan to purchase that. As well as improvements and upgrades to that facility, and then the purchase of adjacent property. So currently they have 17 full-time employees. They do anticipate hiring up to 5 additional employees within the next 3 years, with those employees having an average salary of $60,000. So as far as the capital investment portion, they do anticipate expending up to $3 million again for the purchase of that facility, improvements to that facility, and then the purchase of adjacent property. And since 2017, this will be their 4th expansion in San Angelo. So again, a breakdown of the incentives that were approved. We're proposing, or we did propose, which y'all approved, a $350,000 capital investment grant. Again, once that $3 million has been expended, they are required to retain their current 17 employees. And then we offer $2,500 per full-time equivalent for up to those additional 5 FTEs. So the total incentives package that was approved is $362,500. And again, the economic output that we are anticipating would be $2 million in annual economic output, 1.3 million in gross area product annually, and then a payback period of 5.5 years. So with that, I would ask to open the public hearing.
It is 9:39 a.m. I will at this time open the public hearing. Do we have any public comments?
No, we did not receive any.
Okay, it is also 9:39 and I will now close the public hearing. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Moving on to I, a public hearing regarding the use of sales and use tax funds in an amount not to exceed $150,000 to provide an economic development incentive to BP Surface Solutions LLC, DBA Dorado Construction Group, for a project related to business enterprises that create or retain primary jobs as authorized for a Type B corporation under Local Government Code, Chapter 505, Subchapter C. Presentation also by Ms. Shannon Scott.
Thank you. So again, this was another project that was approved at last month's board meeting for Dorado Construction Group. Again, a breakdown of the background of the company. They provide end-to-end and specialized civil engineering services, as well as construction services for oilfield infrastructure. Their expansion will include the purchase of a new building, which is going to be located at 424 South Chadburn, as well as new furniture, fixtures, and equipment to outfit that building. So currently they have 93 full-time employees with the anticipation of hiring 25 additional employees within the next 3 years, with those employees having an average salary of $70,000. So their capital investment will include, or they're expected to spend about $2.7 million again for the purchase of that building off of Chadburn Street, as well as the furniture, fixtures, and equipment needed to outfit that building.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Just a couple more slides. So again, the breakdown of the incentives that were approved at last month's meeting include a $100,000 capital investment grant once that $2.7 million has been expended for the purchase of that building, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We are asking that they retain their current 93 employees, and then we're offering $2,000 per full-time equivalent for up to the 25 FTEs for a total incentives package of $150,000. And then as far as their economic impact, we're anticipating $9 million in annual economic output, $4.9 million in gross area product, and then a payback period of 6.2 years. And I will note that both SMC Global and Dorado Construction Group were both ratified at the City Council meeting on October 6th. And with that, I would ask to open the public hearing for Dorado Construction.
Okay, it is 9:42. I will at this time open a public hearing. Do I have any comments?
No comments received on this one either.
Okay, it is 9:42 and I will now close the public hearing. Thank you very much, Shannon.
Thank you.
Moving on to 6, follow-up and administrative issues. We have none. Consideration and possible action of items discussed in closed session. We have none. Announcements and consideration of future agenda items. Do we have any? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Matt, second.
Who was the second?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ed.
thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed. All in favor, say aye. Dr. Cummings had to leave us. So, Bill.
Aye.
Erica.
Aye.
Max.
Aye.
Garland.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Also in favor of adjourning. Thank you all very much. It is 9:43 and this meeting is adjourned.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Y'all. Have a great weekend.
Y'all
See you
too.
later.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.